around this one. So we just finished up with Joe showing us a 69 Stingray, and his son Joe here has just brought out a 2023.
Yeah.
2023 Corvette Stingray. Now, Greg and I see a lot of these at these car shows.
Yeah.
We don't see many 69 Stingray vets at the car shows, in particular convertible 4-speed car. Yeah. But man, this car is beautiful, and I mean it is sharp. And I know that Corvette has survived for many years. I think 53 is when they started, 54, something like that. 53. We're looking at a 2023. That's a 70-year difference.
Yeah. You
got to tell us about this particular car and what progressed from the 69 up to this point and what's still the same. Because I'm sure there was some of that one leads kind of to the other from what you've told us. So you go ahead, Joe. Just let us know what you know about these cars and give us a walkthrough on it.
So this is a 23. It's 495 horsepower. It's 0 to 60 in 2.8, and it's a an incredible car all the way around. There's a lot of similarities in between what that car inspired with the 69 to the 23, and just from looking at the curves on the car. When you look at a 69, you look at the front curves that come up and go down, and you'll see that incorporated here and there. And then with the back lid, it goes flat. The back lid, it goes flat.
Yeah.
And it's pretty long. When you come to the front, the Stingrays back in 69, they had a double grill. They had one here, and they brought that in. And they don't really necessarily have to do that, because they could bring the air in from the sides, considering it's a mid-engine.
Yep.
Right? So what these do is really there's 2 radiators in there for the motor, and they also cool your brakes. So
wow.
And with the Stingrays, there's also a vent that goes in there and cools your brakes.
So they kind of took that engineering and design and applied it to this newer car.
And I mean, if you look at the hood and how the hood forms on a 69, you have that triangular shape, and they incorporated it into this. Now,
right.
And it also has to do.
And they also got that point. So I see that now that I can see them both together. I'm glancing over there, looking at that, and I see exactly what you're talking about as far as the similarities go. Now, obviously, the engine's not up front; it's right behind you.
There's a lot of in Corvette. They've always been tight, very tight fit for working on them or wherever. In terms of like your brakes, like those, you have a lot of gap in between your brake caliper and your wheel. Right. But as time went on, they got really, really, really close. And so,
is that because they went to a larger wheel, larger caliper?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons. And I mean, if you look at, I can't even put a finger in between that.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Of course, they're incorporating that in a lot.
Of course, a lot of difference in the wheel style too.
Yeah.
But everything kind of got bigger and grew up.
Yeah. When you can see the elements of a Stingray in here.
Check out that door handle. That's great. It's part of the side molding.
It's a hidden door handle.
Man, what a beautiful cockpit, I'm going to call it. It's more like a cockpit than just simply an interior.
And this interior is a cool gray. Which, a lot of people like to make it, the kind of tannish one, make it more like a Ferrari.
Sure.
Joe and I were like, no, this car is going to have tones of red mist, black, and the silverish grayish stuff. So if you notice, it's a gray, that they call a cool gray interior.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the wheels, normally these are the exact factory wheels, but they're not chrome.
Right.
They don't come chrome. So I bought a set of chromes that are absolutely the perfect match of a guy in California. And before this car even got here, we had the wheels here. And when it came into the dealer, before we took it home, we said, take the wheels off. We're going to put them in a box, put chrome on the car. And then we dressed it in all chrome.
Rather than the black?
Than the black, because we like the look of the chrome and the gray. you know, with black.
You know, something I hadn't noticed, Joe, is that you're right. There's very little chrome on any new car. I like the fact that y'all did that. And I didn't.
In the front, it's got, you know, the chrome emblem up there, and then with chrome wheels. I mean, people that have seen this with the chrome wheels, they just go, "Oh my God!"
Well, so you've created a uniqueness here.
Yeah.
And that's great that you guys had a vision about what you wanted on a new car, and to me, that's really cool. Now, how do you access the engine?
You can do it from the key from the inside of the car, and there's a button here. So there's 3 different ways to do it. And then
wow!
And you have a.
So it has a trunk.
It has
it
a
does
trunk,
have a trunk,
and it does have a frunk, which is a front trunk.
A frunk.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that!
Isn't that great? So you said it had 2 radiators. So it's got one back here, obviously, and you got another one that cools the brakes.
Yeah, there's 2 radiators up here that come in the front, and they cool this motor. And then there's an air-cooled duct that goes into the brakes.
I see. So it forces air.
Yes, it forces a lot of air.
Yeah.
There's a radiator over on this vent over.
And there's a radiator over here.
I got you.
And there's fans in here, in this panel, and in this panel, that, you know.
So the engineering on this car was really thought about. You know, they're going to move that engine back here. They've still got to have a way to incorporate and do all the things that they technically were doing in 69 to keep it cool, keep the brakes cool, things like that. So that's neat. I'm learning something about that. And if anybody's got any questions for these guys, they really know their vets. We'd love for you to comment on there, ask questions. We'd love to see you guys do that.
A couple other things. This has got magnetic ride, so you can adjust the ride. And you can make it as stiff as you want, so you can take cloverleaf at 70 miles an hour and never even slow down, and the car will just stay perfectly level. All right.
Yeah.
And then it's got front lift. And the front lift, so I have a dip in my driveway. We program that. So 100 feet away, it automatically lifts the car to.
Oh, wow.
And 100, feet after, it drops it back down. So I have a restaurant that I go to. It has speed bumps. It's all programmed. So I just drive it and just up, down.
So it
never scrapes in the front end.
It's a smart car.
Right. And then the other thing it has is this is a Tremec 8-speed dual clutch, and that means that this does not have a torque converter in it. It is actually clutches in the transmission, and on one side of the transmission is 1357, and on the other side it's 2468. And when the car starts to roll, you can feel the clutch letting out versus a torque converter spinning.
Sure.
But what's incredible is that when you have a dual clutch system, the way this Tremec was designed, it stays in first gear until second is fully engaged.
During very aggressive launches, yes.
So you don't have that hesitation in an automatic between first and second. So a Tremec like this is faster than any stick shift car. So automatic.
That's what my question was going to be. Is it a little bit of both?
Yeah.
Is it an automatic and a?
Basically, it's an automatic, fully automatic, and it's kind of like a stick because it's got dual clutch
That's
in it.
crazy.
And so the shift points are which by the way, you can control the shift points of the car. You can control the exhaust of this car.
Yeah.
You can control how stiff the steering is in this car, or how stiff you want the brakes. So you just set it up and say, okay, this is where I like to drive it. You push the button, and now this steering is set up how stiff I want it, how fast.
And this is all factory programming stuff that you can do. It's not aftermarket.
Touch the brakes, go through the glass, or you have to stomp on the brakes to get it to stop.
Well, you're kind of explaining to me why these cars are the price that they are.
Yeah.
But as what you get out of one of these versus looking at an exotic that comes out of Europe, my God, this thing is cheap.
Yeah, how much but it's very comparable to the Ferraris and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a supercar at maybe the level of the Ferrari and all that, but
unless you get to a Z06 or a ZR1
that comes on it, and so you load one of these up and you're going to spend $85,000, $90,000 on it.
Sure.
And you compare that to what it would cost to have all that stuff on something out of Europe, and that's 250.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
that's a crazy
it's a
difference.
bargain.
But this brand also allows you to get something that is that price that will compete with this.
I know there's some upper end.
Yeah,
over,
so like
well
the
over 100
ZR1,
grand.
this is $495.
Yeah.
The ZR1's 1,064 with twin turbos.
Yeah.
You know, and that's production. It's not aftermarket.
Right.
And that is just insane when you think about it.
So I've got a silly question, Joe. Does it love gas, or is it pretty easy on gas?
It's easy on gas.
Really? So you got all this performance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you run it on regular pump gas?
Yeah,
high octane?
Just 93.
93?
It
So
cuts to 4-cylinder.
Yeah,
and it cuts to 4-cylinder, which is a thing these days.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand it all, but I know it's an economic thing. So what I love is the way these things are hidden. You open that passenger door, but that looks like a piece of trim. Am I doing something wrong here? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Now I love this. It is a Stingray.
Yeah.
Now they've got Stingrays. They've got ZR1s. You said.
Yeah.
What's some other versions?
Z06.
Z06.
They've had this is the Z51. So you have the base, then you have the Z51, then you have the E-Ray, which is an all electric. I don't believe they have a C8 Grand Sport. Could be wrong. The previous generation did have a Grand Sport. So you have the Z06.
Hey, if somebody knows, tell us.
And then you have the ZR1, and then you have the ZR1X.
Right.
And then I believe they have a Zora coming out.
So there's several options in
Yeah.
these Corvettes you can get.
You know.
Well, man, this is a mind-blowing car, and I've never really taken the time to ask the questions and check them out. Obviously, it came out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
So all these cars are built in Bowling Green. Used to be built in St. Louis. That 69 was built in St. Louis, I'm sure. So it used to be common to have a Missouri-born Corvette. Not nearly as common. Well, it's impossible anymore since they moved in '83, I think. I do know a little bit of that history because I had family that worked and transferred to them from the St. Louis plant to the Bowling Green plant. But, man, the comparison between that, while you see a lot of the same similarities, the car has really grown over the years. I mean, the performance level of it, what they've made it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Corvette. I've always thought of Corvette being ahead of their time.
Uh-huh.
And in terms of racing, if I'm in a Mustang, I'm not challenging Corvette.
Sure.
I just always have thought that they're top dog.
Yeah. And and I would say you're probably right. You know, they were top dog in '69. If you wanted an elite automobile, that Chevy Corvette was the thing to get. You got the same thing here with the 2023, and you can even get more radical than this from what you tell me. So, but man, I wouldn't do a thing. I love the chrome you guys added. I love the way you access the engine, the dual radiator system, cooling the brakes. You've actually still got a little trunk so you can go get a bag of groceries. You're probably not going to haul many asses, but you can haul ass.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
You know, the cool thing about the car, one of the things about the motor is that it has no oil pan.
Crazy.
So there's no oil pan. It's all oil reservoirs.
So it's essentially like an oil cooler.
Yeah. Then you have a frunk, which is really nice. I normally put a cooler or something in there.
Yeah, that's kind of like riding a side-by-side. You're looking for places to stuff your stuff and put your cooler on. Yeah, that's great. So, one more thing, removable top.
Yep.
That's what I thought. I was looking at it here. So this section here comes completely out.
Yeah. And
so you can get a lot of different looks, a lot of different options with this car.
They have gotten lighter since the 6th generation. The 6th generation one was heavy.
Yeah.
7th got a little bit lighter. The C8's now it's getting lighter.
So is this the heavy one?
Nope. 6th generation is the heaviest.
Okay.
In my opinion, it is. And then you get to the 7th generation, it got lighter, and now it's even lighter.
Pop that top off for us there, Joe. So you're just releasing some latches in there?
Yep. And that's basically it. And then you just, it's like the front. One-man show.
Oh, wow.
It. It just goes, you can put it in your garage, or you can put it.
Tucks it right in there.
There's actually some
designed for that.
Oh, it's designed for that. That's great.
And a completely irrelevant fact is that the Agera, the Koenigsegg Agera, which is a $2 million car, they had the exact same thing, except they mounted on the front of the car.
Ah.
So you see it when you're looking down the hood.
Yeah, I would like it better.
Yeah,
here.
it's kind of terrifying to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's concealed there too.
Yeah, and then you just.
Well, man, thanks for showing us.
Yeah.
We got 3 more really cool cars we're going to get to, so we'll move on from this one to the other garage.